fans. Welcome back to another video from All Things Star Wars Considered. I'm your host, Doug, and today we continue the room tour. When I shot the first video, I said it could be a one and done, or it could be a part one of two. And when I put it all together, it was just too long, and I just don't want to keep people that long. You know, it's tough to keep people engaged. I love collection room tours. I love watching other people's collections on YouTube, but sometimes I don't have 30 minutes, 40 minutes to sit and watch. So if I make it one or two, you watch half of it, come back at a later date and watch the other half. So that's what we're doing. Before we get started, I just want to thank everybody for the continued support of the channel. You guys are why I do this, and I appreciate you. If you haven't done so, I ask you to please hit the subscribe button so I can continue to bring you that valuable Star Wars content. If you like the video, give it a like. I noticed today I was actually checking in. I hadn't checked in for a little bit, and I got a bunch of comments. And if you're watching this and I haven't responded yet, don't worry, I'm going to get back to you. I saw the comments. I was happy to see them, and I'm happy when people comment, and I'm happy to comment back. So just stay tuned. I'll get back to you. But let's get into part two of the room collection tour. Okay, I mentioned yesterday that I might do this in one or two parts. When I put it all together, it definitely was too long. So this is part two of the room collection tour. So this is the firewall furthest from the door. So this is actually like almost like my trophy wall. Almost like in Jabba's palace, and I'll get more into that later. But here we go. We've got some vintage stuff. The Slave One. Got a mixture of modern and vintage. Obviously, the modern Slave One. Well, not modern, but modern compared to that X-Wing next to it. And we've got, you know, the Skiff, and that was a Target exclusive, and TIE Fighter. Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, which we haven't seen in ages. Hasbro, get on the stick. There's a brand new Book of Boba Fett throne room, vintage Vader. As we get a little bit closer to the top, obviously we've got the Skiff, the original Skiff, Power of the Force. That baby's worth something now. And we got the dewback and the custom Luke Bespin, vintage Kenner style. And we're going to start moving this way. And obviously you've seen this Hannon Carbonite, and there's a little bit of a cool story behind that. We'll just kind of pan along it. And as I go along, I'll kind of explain. I did some research a few years back, actually probably more than a few years now, but we got all the Gentle Giant down here. Got a bunch of vintage figures along the floor. Like I say, this collection goes floor to ceiling. I mean, look at it. I'll stop moving this way and then I'll start talking. All right, I did some research a few years back, and I was doing it on collections, because I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this like the right way. So what I ended up doing, hang on, just bear with me. So I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this the right way. So you already know about the Hannon Carbonite, so I'll just continue the room tour, and I'll just explain as I do it. So it said, if you're going to do a collection, you want a high-end piece. And that high-end piece is almost like the conversation starter for your collection. So I decided then that I was going to do a Hannon Carbonite. And at the time, I didn't have the money for it. I knew it was going to be a little bit pricey. So what I did is I went out and I bought a cardboard standee. And I tacked that to the wall. And then I put the bookcases on each side. And I just said, okay, you're the placeholder. Eventually, I'm going to get a Hannon Carbonite, and I'm going to pop it on the wall there. Well, I did a search. I actually had a saved search on eBay. Eventually, I found one. I purchased it. I'm not going to tell you what I paid for it because I'm a little embarrassed. Actually, it's not that bad, but still, based on the end result, I'm a little embarrassed. But what ended up happening was that I got it from somebody in California. Obviously, an item that size to ship was extremely costly. So it cost me like $200 just to get it here. It arrived damaged. I contacted the seller. We negotiated some repairs, some repair costs. He was going to send me some materials. In the end, I got nothing. I was very upset. He strung me along, played games with me, and then disappeared, and I just gave up. So somebody just said, you know what? Call it a day. Do some repairs on it yourself. Put it on the wall and call it a day. And that's exactly what I did. So that's what I did. I ended up taking the cardboard one down, and I gave it to my buddy George, and he actually turned it into a 3-dimensional carbonite block. And actually came out pretty cool. He added some lights and boxes on the side. And even though it started out as a poster, it's more than just a poster now. So I gave it a good home, and true to form, George turned it into something truly magnificent. So again, I tried to move the camera while talking, because I actually shot this segment yesterday or the day before, and I just kept the camera on the carbonite while I just talked. And it was kind of boring, so I figured I'll just kind of move the camera around while I'm doing the talking. That way you can kind of take in the room. So I've kind of already gone through this before, but we'll just go through it again in case you missed anything. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. On to the next part. Okay, this is the backside of the island. Obviously, Job is on the front. That's the first thing you see when you enter the room. This is the backside of that. So we've got the retro collection figures, those box sets with the final 6 of the original 12. Some of the Return of the Jedi ones. We got the Tantive 4. We got the Emperor's Throne Room, air quotes, a seat, a window, and a lot of cardboard. And you've seen what I did with that. So we're going to keep going down. Again, more Black Series figures. Again, I don't showcase them a lot on the channel, but I do have them. You know, they just stay in the package, you know. But, you know, they're still great. Okay, now we're going to come down. Another fun part of my collection and something that I take a lot of pride in. Not really, but it's the Sandcrawler. I like the Kenner one. I like the Hasbro one. Way underscaled. So I actually took the Star Wars Technical Journal and I drew this out on sheets of 1/4-inch plywood or whatever. I don't even remember, paneling. And then I just kind of put it all together and painted it and actually made some wheels for it. And just a big blob that sits there. But what a great backdrop, you know. And of course, I got the Purchase of the Jawas going on there. Purchase of the Droids, excuse me. Oh, look, for once I caught myself. Most of the time I say silly things and then realize it after I posted. But I actually caught myself that time. The Purchase of the Droids. And there you have it. And again, just like on all these shelving units, I have bunches of figures carded. These are the Power of the Force side. These are all original. No retro collection here. This is all real stuff. Forgive me, the R2 fell, but he's still there. He sits right on top of the hand and carbonite. There's the Amanda Man. Did a little bit of a review on that a couple of weeks ago. And again, here's the bottom part of the shelving units. There's the new indoor bunker. Let's work our way up. Vintage collection, Tauntaun. Love that piece. Picked that up in Chicago. And then the Cloud Car. There's the Bespin Freeze Chamber. There's the Stan Solo Ubrikian 9000. I'm going to do a review on that, so be looking for that. And a small scale Falcon, the Power of the Force 2. And then, kind of coming full circle, we get back to the Purchase of the Droids. And there's the Laz Homestead. Sun's setting. Uncle Owen makes a deal with the Jawas to purchase R2 and 3PO. Well, we know he purchases R5 and 3PO, but R5 has other plans when his motivator pops. Uncle Owen, this R2 unit's got a bad motivator. Hey, what are you trying to push on us? Well, let's wrap this segment up. Hope you're enjoying this review so far. Okay, this is the last wall of the of the collection room. This one's the toughest because this is kind of where I shoot the videos, so I had to move my office, air quotes. So again, as we've talked about in the past, we got the border of figures, got my little homage to the Mandalorian in that corner. We got the window, and of course you can't do a window in the collection room without the Return of the Jedi curtains, so we'll kind of pan across that, and then we'll come back full circle to where we kind of started, and then we'll just start making our way through this last wall. So you've seen this in one of my videos on the channel. That's the back to tank medical Hoth diorama there. So I got the DTOF case with some custom 12-inch Kenner figures. You get the Luke and the Han Hoth. Of course, that's a sideshow or Hot Toys Tuscan. So we go down, and you can see the 12-inch collection in the case there, entirely original. Even the Yoda puppet. The X-Wing, which I restored. Go down a little bit further. You've got the Black Series Hoth hallway argument between Leia and Han. It's tough to see, but at the bottom there's a Jabba and Rancor pit. It's not much, but again, we haven't gotten to this yet, but we will. That's the Dagobah Kenner playset. Go above. That's the when the stormtroopers, the sand troopers stop the land speeder, and you don't need to see his identification. You know how that goes. There's the Ubrikian 9000 stand solo. Again, still got to do a review of that. Here's the Book of Boba, Jabba's Palace. Well, it's supposed to be the Book of Boba, Boba's Palace, but you can see how that ended up turning out. When we come across, we've got a mixture of new and vintage Endor figures. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with that yet, but we're getting there. We'll figure it out eventually. Then we move across here. And like I said, this is the Mandalorian section. But only some of it. Because as we move our way down, we get the original 12. This group shot right here, minus the 3 in the back, which are customs, but this group shot of 12 here is what started this whole thing. Everything started from these 12. And I'm happy to display them proudly in this room. We continue down. We have the cantina. A bunch of figures in there, some custom. Most of them are all original. Keep going down. We've got the Y-Wing vintage collection. We go down a little bit further. We have the skiff. Got some figures on the floor because I haven't figured out where to put them. We got more figures over here, which are stacked up. So just haven't figured it all out yet. Let's move our way along here. Got some 12-inch stuff. Speeder bike Leia, Zuckuss. I think that's Garandon. And of course, you've seen this diorama. I did a review on this. This is the Death Star 2, obviously. We move our way across. We've seen this diorama as well. This is the Endor. Again, I caught myself. This is the Dagobah one. Here's something that we're just going to kind of show. But I've got the Book of Boba throne room on top of it. Normally, you'd be able to look down into it and see what's going on. I like the diorama. I don't think I did a bad job on it, but it just doesn't display because you have to literally look into it. The canteen is a tough diorama to make. You have to almost like take a wall out and then kind of position everything to one side and kind of really make it non-screen accurate in order to appreciate it. So again, we'll get into it. I might redo it eventually, but that's it. There's a bunch of Cantina figures in there. Again, let's work our way down. There's the micro collection Death Star. I ended up picking up the compactor last year. Got a good deal on that. And the figures are all there and in great condition. So I was happy to score that. And as we kind of fade away here, or as we start to kind of wrap things up, there's the Black Series San Diego Comic-Con Jabba with Salacious, and then the Carbonite block. And then the big AT-AT. Vintage Collection AT-AT. You probably saw the box in one of the other earlier shots. And then the final thing is the article of me in the newspaper. Story for another day, but yes, they featured me in the local newspaper for my collection. So, interesting read. And I'm going to kind of just wrap things up here. One more section to go, and then we'll have done a kind of complete sweep of the room. And thanks for watching, everybody. One to go. I'm sure you've heard the expression, save the best for last. Well, in this case, this is probably the worst for last. It was just difficult to get to. If I could have gotten to it earlier on, I would have shot it first. And let's be honest, I don't have to. When I edit this, I can put this at the beginning. So, disregard my saving the worst for last. But this is the west side of the Jabba's palace. This is the island. So, as we go down, very uneventful. But we get down a little bit further. We have a little alcove there with the Bomar monk. Yeah. We work our way down. There's an exclusive sand crawler. Not painted poorly, just way under scale. Keep coming down, keep coming down. We have the Vintage Collection B-Wing fighter. I think that was a Kmart exclusive. I'm not quite sure, though. I'm pretty sure. Then we come down again. My finger's always in the freaking way. What? Sorry. But there we go. Just because it's tough to maneuver around here. I don't have a lot of room. So we got some Black Series 40th anniversary figures on cards, which I do like. And then some Return of the Jedi. I'm sure if you've seen, we've gone. The first part had New Hope. Second part had Empire. This part has the Jedi stuff. And the other side has the Power of the Force figures. So, here you have it. And, again, very uneventful, but it is what it is. And, I'd like to thank you all for watching this video. Have a great day. Well, I hope you enjoyed part 2 of the room collection tour. That's probably it for a while. You know, if I do some major renovations or some major revamping of the room, then maybe I'll shoot it again. But I think for right now, you've seen enough. As the channel moves along, I'll pick and choose various items or, you know, stories to kind of share with the collecting community. But for right now, we're going to, you know, start to wrap things up. Like I always say at the end of these videos, thanks for watching. And I also like to remind you, if you haven't done so, please hit the subscribe button so I can continue to bring you the valuable Star Wars content that we've all come to know and love. If you like the video, give that a like. Like I say, it helps the channel. And if you've got a comment or a question, please leave it in the comment section, and I'd be happy to get back to you. I hope you guys have a great day. Like I always say, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video. May the Force be with you. No droids were harmed during the filming of this video.
Please hold.
No droids were hurt. May the Force be with you.
Okay, apparently some droids were harmed during the filming of this video.